I'm Christiana Della Russo, Vice President of Commercialization at the WBBA. We're here at Life Science Innovation Northwest 2014, and I'm here with Dr. John DesRosier, Executive Director of the Life Sciences Discovery Fund. So, John, tell us, what is the Life Sciences Discovery Fund?
Thanks, Christiana. We're a state agency, and globally speaking, we're really here to help create better futures for Washington's citizens. And those better futures are really in two different areas. One of which is better health in the future, improved drugs, improved devices that will improve their health and healthcare. And the second one is really their economic futures, trying to provide a better economic future for our residents, and that being in creating new job opportunities for them. And so the link that, you might ask, what's the link between healthcare and jobs? Well, it's really what this conference is all about. This is the Life Sciences Innovation Northwest Conference, Life Science Innovation. So what this conference is all about is about people coming together with their ideas for new products that will help people. The majority of the products they're talking about here are really their ideas for improving health and healthcare. And these people are here to really talk about their ideas, to try to encourage investors to help them take those ideas forward. And what we do is and they're also looking at starting new companies. And so that's the economic part of this. So they're interested in creating new products to improve health and healthcare. They're also going to be doing that through a commercial model by creating new companies. As those companies are formed and grow, they create the jobs. So that's the link between the healthcare and jobs. What we do is we really help bridge the distance between those innovators and their ideas and the investors. So we fund research and development in those new companies to help them push their products to market.
Okay, thank you. So as a state granting agency, give us some examples that show the breadth of the projects or the organizations that you support, and also demonstrate, as you're a statewide agency, the geographic diversity.
Sure. So one of the projects that we have funded there's a company here that presented yesterday called Cardiac Insight. They're a spin out of the University of Washington. And there's a cardiologist at the University of Washington who basically envisioned on a napkin, if you will, a new device that would really help him understand which of his patients were prone to having a stroke and which ones were not. And the usual way of doing that now, of trying to determine who might be prone toward a stroke, is to wear some complicated equipment for a week. You carry it around. And what he envisioned was putting all of that in a real small device. So he had an idea, but he didn't have anything tangible. He didn't have a prototype. And when he went and talked to investors, they said, well, that's kind of an idea phase. It'd be, we'd like to see what that actually looks like and whether it works. And that's what we funded. So we gave Dr. Linker a grant that he could create his prototype and test it. And yesterday, he was able to, or his team gave a presentation. When we funded that work, there was maybe 1 or 2 employees. Now they're up to 8. They've raised funding from investors. So again, our money helped get from idea phase to prototype to help bring investment money. A second one that we have funded is in the eastern part of the state at Washington State University. We have funded a computer scientist over there named Diane Cook. And what she's really doing I call this sort of computer science meets geriatrics. What she's trying to do is keep the elderly in their homes for longer so that they don't have to go out to nursing homes. And what she's done is she outfits the homes of elderlies with computerized sensors that monitor the daily activities of the residents. And if there's a departure from the daily activity, then a notification goes out to caregivers that Grandma didn't run the water for the last 2 hours. Grandma didn't take her medication. So that one is being assessed by entrepreneurs right now for its commercializability. But that's a second example. Mm-hmm. A third one might be a personal example from me. There's a company here called Mirador Biomedical, and they have a pressure sensing device, and they're a startup. And there's a physician at Seattle Children's that said, that device I think I could use for doing spinal taps on children, And what it reminded me of was when my own daughter was a little less than a year old, we ended up at Seattle Children's in the emergency room about 3 in the morning. She had a very high fever, and they were considering doing a spinal tap on her. And they, you know, I guess in those spinal tap procedures, kids move around a lot and they're antsy, and it does, this physician who does those thought, if I could have an instrument that really helped me get that right, that I could be eliminating potentially some hospital stays for those kids if they don't go well. And so we funded a study at Children's that showed that indeed that can be used for that purpose. And now that product is on the market for that purpose, and the company, my last count, is something like 8 employees. So, and they're manufacturing that here in Washington State. So those are some examples where our money has really bridged the idea to the market.
Great, thank you. So some folks may not know that LSDF, you've been through some turbulent recent times. So tell us what happened and how you came through that.
Yeah, well, so we did the last legislative session. Our ongoing, continuing budget was threatened, and you know, possibly there was one version of the budget that came out that would have basically closed us down here at the end of June, and required us to terminate all of our grants. And we were very pleased to see that we had an outcry from the community of support, just a huge outpouring of support from the community. Over 1,500 communications into Olympia about, you know, that this was not the right thing to do. And so this is a thank you to all of those supporters who wrote those letters. They were from patient advocacy groups, they were from researchers, from entrepreneurs, from companies. We even had some from national organizations, so we were very fortunate to receive that. It was very humbling, actually, to tell you the truth. You know, we feel like if you are the theme of this conference, if you are going to take innovation forward, convert it to products, create the jobs, create the products, improve health, that you absolutely need something like the Life Sciences Discovery Fund. We are a must-have. And in fact, there have been people that have said this is government done right. So we believe very strongly that this is an important mission for this state to link the innovators with the market.
Okay, and just one final last question, the future for LSDF.
Well, the future, so we have 2 years worth of funding, and right now, this next year, we will be making $9 million in new grants. We're very pleased about that. We'll be rolling that out the first week of July. And we're, you know, the request for proposals will be out the week of July 7th. And this conference has been great because it allows me to go out and talk to people who are interested in our grants, and there's still a very high interest and, you know, high need also for those grants. So we're very excited about this next year.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, John, and we're signing off from Life Science Innovation Northwest 2014.